Hello and welcome back to the I-League Season 2 Southeast Asian Qualifiers here on HeflaTV 2. I'm Granted So I'll be joined by Coucher for Game 2 of a best-of-3 series between Arcanys Gaming and MVP.Phoenix.
Yeah, man, here I am. So, first game, I think, I didn't see too much of it, but MVP.Phoenix anti-mage actually overtook a Meepo, although from what I understood, the Meepo had a pretty decent enough start, right?
Yeah, his start was amazing. Like, there wasn't really anything wrong with it. He outfarmed, as far as CS is concerned, the anti-mage throughout the entire game, but just wasn't able to really use that. The Tidehunter Ravage and the Black Hole coming out didn't really win the fights that that Arcanys really needed to win. They had just a 1 or 2 lost team fights and then a dieback on the Meepo, and it felt like it was all over.
And every now and then, there are games that just one team fight pretty much decides the entirety of the game. Of course, last game it was really that one Roshan fight that pretty much gave MVP.Phoenix the necessary control to end the game, I guess, but maybe Arcanys, they're gonna just play a little bit more conserved, actually go for the team fight when they know they can win it, and well, with a Tidehunter on Phoenix's side now, team fighting will be a little bit harder for Arcanys, but I guess maybe with the Batrider, maybe they're focusing more on just getting a pick off and then getting a favorable team fight with the numbers advantage.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the plan for them. Jakiro and Batrider is the opening 2 from Arcanys, and Vengeful Spirit Tidehunter from MVP.Phoenix. I quite like this Venge Tidehunter opening as far as a way to open up a draft. You can go in pretty much any direction with Venge and Tidehunter. You go for really early game, you can hit the mid game really hard, focusing on the Ravage, or you can take it late. Ravage never really falls off, especially when you're working with 2 of them. I don't know, it's just a really stable way to open things up. For Arcanys, they also have their strengths, like taking down those early T1s with Jakiro and his Liquid Fire, or looking for pickoffs with the Blink on Batrider is also nice. But still, I think it's already just more volatile than what MVP.Phoenix have.
It's definitely true, so we'll see if they can just kind of continue on the same note with the draft as well or not. But Arcanys is definitely a strong start for the draft. But what do you think that they should go for? I mean, do you go for more into pushing? Do you go for an IO combination for global ganking or something like those lines? Or what's the choice?
Honestly, I'm not sure. So sure, my goodness. They've also picked up a Batrider into the Venge, so swap to get out of the lasso. Arcanys, they might need some other way to start the fight, or if they don't have another way to start the fight, they kind of need to go on the Venge every time, and even then, you're blinking into a potential Ravage as well. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Global ganking could work out for them if they're comfortable with their IO. That's a good direction.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if I've seen Arcanys play the IO or not. It's hard to really remember because IO isn't that popular these days. Only a handful of teams play them. I mean, some teams are like, yeah, IO, for sure they play it. But for Arcanys, I'm not too sure if I've seen it. But it's definitely, or could be, a change of pace for them. But MVP.Phoenix themselves, of course, starting with a Vengeful, Tidehunter next. Quite a lot of minus armor coming between the 2 heroes already. Kash, Wave of Terror. Most likely a Medallion on the Vengeful build at some point as well. So, if they really want to, they can kind of overkill and go for an Elder Titan, I guess, but since I haven't seen MVP.Phoenix at all almost, or at least haven't been casting them, I have no clue if they even run the Elder Titan at all or not.
It's going to be a Medusa for Arcanys, so instead they're just going to hammer the late game really hard. Right now, I don't really see anything stopping MVP.Phoenix from picking up the Anti-Mage again.
I mean, Anti-Mage definitely would be a pretty damn great hero. It's decent-ish against Batrider as well. When he comes in, if you have the Meta Style already, you pop the Meta Style, create a little bit of confusion, and that should buy enough time for you to blink out, for example. And, of course, just excellent against Medusa. I mean, I think you could have gone for the Medusa later on as well, unless they really thought that MVP.Phoenix is going to snatch it for themselves.
Yeah, I don't know. Would have been a decent pickup for MVP.Phoenix, to be honest. With Venge boosting up the damage as well as the Tidehunter, I wouldn't have been opposed to that, but instead it's going to be a Draw Ranger. I really like this opening coming up from MVP.Phoenix. Vengeful Spirit Tidehunter doesn't immediately scream Draw, but as far as my ideal Draw Ranger lineup, it's Venge, Tidehunter, Draw Ranger, Visage +1. And that +1 usually is like a puck to go towards the mid lane. It's really scary. And honestly, I'm not sure Arcanys are really primed to deal with it at all. They have the Vengeful Spirit to deal with the Batrider initiation. Medusa and Jakiro don't really get up in your face at all, and in fact, don't really want to. They want to sit back and kite, but yeah. And I don't really see much of an opportunity for Arcanys to deny pick up the Visage either. And even if they do, I think MVP.Phoenix would be fine and just go for some different supports. I think the first 3 they have are already really solid.
It's definitely solid for them, so I'm not too sure. It's like you said, it's a scary lineup to face if they go for the Visage and the Puck as well. Of course, I would kind of expect the Puck to be maybe even banned out because it's just that strong of a hero. But we'll see. I mean, I guess MVP Phoenix with the draw now, it is almost certain that at least an anti-mage won't be making an appearance in this game.
Yeah, more or less. I don't think there's really an opportunity for them to go for it. I don't think it's very good, but I'm always holding out for like a draw ranger that goes for Diffusal Blade, not necessarily for the mana burn, although that would kind of be nice against the Medusa, just for the raw agility that gives you. It's actually incredibly gold efficient and slot efficient for the agility that you can pick up from that item, even though your Manta Illusions don't get the mana steal.
We'll see what Arcanys is going to go for next. They are taking quite some time with their decision. They don't need supports, of course. Really anything would be fine. Do you think something like an Omni Knight might even be viable? I mean, I've seen some teams just starting to experiment with that hero more and more. Could it be a possible pick for them, or wouldn't it matter since Throw Ranger is bringing so much physical? I guess Guardian Angel would be nice against physical as well, but could it be a potential pick for Arcanys?
I think it could be. It would be incredibly defensive, but maybe that's exactly what they need. It would be very annoying for MVP.Phoenix to deal with, giving you that repel for the Batrider and Medusa, depending on how the fights are actually going down. And Guardian Angel is really nice against a Draw Ranger, and right now there is no natural Diffusal Blade carrier on MVP.Phoenix, even though I mentioned maybe you'll see it on Draw Ranger.
5 seconds.
It's never going to happen in a million years. Either way, it's going to be a Witch Doctor for Arcanys, which is a decent pick, I suppose, but I don't know, it feels kind of non-committal. They don't have anything great to combo with that Death Ward. Lasso's okay, as is Stone Gaze, especially if you get the Stone form onto it. It can do a ridiculous amount of damage, but those aren't necessarily the most reliable, or not the easiest to get off, especially when you have a Vengeful Spirit Swap or Tidehunter Ravage to cancel it.
Well, it's definitely going to be hard to actually get it through, especially if the Visage comes out with the Familiars drop downs as well, but going for an Invoker instead, definitely a hero that can make great use of the Precision Aura, of course, but is this a Vex Invoker incoming with the EMP to deal with the Medusa?
For sure. I'd love to see that. I think that's probably the best way to play it this game. Also just very disruptive with the Tornado, and I think their mid pick doesn't really need to have damage. They have damage in spades already with the Draw Ranger, and yeah, I don't think it's really necessary. The Visage is going to be banned out by Arcanys. Honestly, I think they could have gotten away with picking up the Invoker in the last slot, mostly because Arcanys would probably ban out the Puck. And then even if they didn't ban out the Puck and ban out the Invoker instead, Puck's still pretty decent. But I still like MVP.Phoenix's lineup, even though we're not going to see the Draw Ranger Visage combination. Even in a vacuum, it's already really good.
Oh, it most certainly is. So, do you have any like preference for the last hero for them? Do you think Tidehunter might get swapped into... I guess they don't really have any proper hero to put in the offlane apart from the Tide. So as the last support, are like any certain supports better in this case, or doesn't it matter too much?
I don't think it matters too much, but I'd like to see a Rubik. Stealing Death Ward, as well as just having an instant disable up against Batrider, would be pretty nice utility for them, but honestly I don't think it's really going to matter much what they pick. Even if it's a melee support and they just pick up something like an Earthshaker to, I don't know, secure the Draw Ranger in the laning stage and just have more disable on their team all around, I think that's also pretty solid.
Oh, it most certainly is. I was kind of thinking of a Rubik as well. Just Ice Path stealing, even stealing Stone Gaze might be worthwhile depending on the situation, of course, but Arcanys themselves picking up a Razor, so that just means that Shakiro will be in the support role. And their laning will be probably rather standard, Bat off, Razor mid, and Medusa with Jakiro safe lane. And I guess it's gonna give MVP.Phoenix quite a lot of time, although Witch Doctor and Jakiro can definitely roam around as well, just maybe not the strongest in doing so. So MVP, can they go a little bit greedy and pick up something like an Enigma maybe?
They definitely could. Enigma pushing with the Precision Aura is pretty ridiculous on those Eidolons. And that would also be, like, a good option. Arcanys don't have the greatest of tools to cancel out that Black Hole. They have Ice Path and Paralyzing Cask, but those aren't instant and probably want to be used for the other heroes as well. Yeah, I think he can pick which one you like, Rubik or Enigma, depending on how you want to play it.
Well, we'll see. I mean, maybe they're a little bit afraid of just getting punished, because Enigma, it always, you have to think in the back of your mind that maybe Arcanys can even go for an aggressive tri-lane of sorts. Medusa, Witch Doctor, Jakiro wouldn't be too bad of an aggressive tri-lane even, in some cases. But Sky of Mage will be the pick instead. They don't have like the most massive lockdown, I guess, apart from the Ravage to deal or to set up the Sky of Mage ultimate. But it's a good enough hero, I guess. Plus, if you get Mystic Flare on Medusa, although he's pretty tanky, at least you can drain his mana completely with that.
For sure. Yeah, I would have liked to see the Enigma or the Rubik a little bit better, but Scarlet Mage is hardly ever a bad choice, and does work really well with the Vengeful Spirit. Just having a play stun into the Mystic Flare, it's looking pretty good for MVP.Phoenix. Arcanys, they really need to have this Batrider do a lot of work, I feel, and with Swap available for Heen, I think that's going to be pretty difficult for them. That said, execution is more or less everything in these games. We'll have to see how it works out in the end. On the Radiant side, it's going to be MVP.Phoenix, with QO playing on the Invoker. Currently loading out with Quas, don't know if he's going for Wax or Exhort. Heen going playing on the Vengeful Spirit, Reason on the Scarlet Mage, March on the Drow Ranger, leaving last but not least for Ev playing on the Tidehunter.
And for Arcanys, Boombacks will be playing the Jakiro for the safe lane, with Fright Butterflies on the Witch Doctor, leaving Mighty Savior to play the carry Medusa, with Heinrich on the Razor in the mid lane, and the last will be Bok on the offlane bat. As well, the lanes, there was really no just way, or almost no way at least, that they're going to lane this any differently.
Yeah, I don't think there really is. Not exactly sure why Invoker was joining the rest of his team for that level 1. Level 1 Invoker is actually...
Especially with Quas, you just can't do anything.
Well, I mean, even with the other two, like Exhort, you might be hitting a little bit harder, but yeah, you really need level 2.
Well, I mean, at this point, usually when you go for Vex Invokers, you start with Blades of Attack. But then again,
Mage,
I guess... Wow.
he really wants to zone Bok out. Like, even now, he was like diving tier 2s. That was interesting.
But to be fair, Sky of Mage, he feels like he's a freaking race car compared to the Batrider. Although both have boots, it's just Sky of Mage's base movement speed is just one of his sickest abilities, I think. Or maybe not abilities, but it's one of the sickest aspects about the Sky of Mage, just this great movement speed. But, well, it might be a Vex Invoker, although it didn't start with Blades of Attack, just because Precision Aura will be there for him with just 5 points of damage early on.
Yeah, and that's really significant when you're an Invoker. You don't have another way to really clear out those waves, and especially against the Razor. You'll take any help you can get. Unfortunately for QO, he did mess up his block a little bit, so it is going to be at a pretty bad spot, and he is going to get a Link, although it doesn't steal any damage, so actually Invoker's early laning stage should be looking just fine.
Yeah, it might be so indeed. It's really, if Heinrich gets a lot of damage stolen, it's going to make Invoker's life a living hell, but if he doesn't manage to do so, of course QO didn't start with boots. Sometimes against Razor, you just want to start with boots just to be able to outrun the static Link. But I guess he feels safe in his ability to just stay on the high ground and stay out of range properly anyway. Looking at the offlane though, Fright Butterflies trying to harass forever, but Tidehunter having none of it. Isn't even level 2, so no, well, he gets level 2 now, so he's going to have Anchor Smash. Witch Doctor's life is going to be even harder as they're not even going to get the double pull through either. So this lane will just push through, and Tidehunter will get, I think, at least like level 3 or something.
Yeah. Still, Arcanys, they're getting good farm on their Razor and the Medusa, kind of to be expected, but as far as their immediate impact in this game, I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to really warrant it. I don't know. There's still plenty of a landing stage for things to change. Right now, the killing potential is mostly just on these offlaners, but I don't think Bat is really going to stay in bottom lane at all. Hasn't seen a single creep of experience and is just going to go ahead and stack up some camps to farm later.
Probably the best choice as well, man. Sometimes offlaners, they just stay on the offlane, although it's completely horrible for them. Of course, thank God that Batrider is one of those heroes who can actually make use of the jungle. I mean, if you're something like a Clockwork, you can't do really anything at all. Maybe you can try to just backstab the mid lane and get like power cogs or something like that, but that's really about it. But for the Batrider, can start stacking. Of course, still needs that level 2 before he can properly farm up. Needs to stick in Napalm as well. But it's better than really just doing nothing on the offlane. But then again, there's always a downside. It just frees off the enemy supports to just roam around anywhere, and well, Invis Rune, what better way to roam?
For sure. The Razor, he's having a pretty comfortable time in this lane for now. But especially since this is a Wex Invoker, he could be in a lot of trouble right now. They have the Magic Missile opening from Heen. Going to break the Invis, has the Magic Missile, going to throw that out. It's a Tidehunter to give up first blood. In the meantime, his Razor's going to die after the fact. Just a couple more auto attacks, looking at the wrong fight, I suppose, as they're able to dive him under tier 1.
Damn bastard Tidehunter. Fright Butterflies did come in from behind, so Nice just movement, backstabbing Tidehunter like that, but I think it's still fine for them. They get the mid lane kill, getting some space for the Invoker. Tidehunter, although he died, he's level 3.5 already. And all comparing that to Bok, who is still sitting on 0 points of XP, I'd say still going pretty well for them, even though giving away first blood.
Especially with Mud Golems in his medium camp. Like, Batrider, this is going to be a very, very, very sad bat. He would have been better off just straight up jungling, and even then, it's not the greatest of farm for Batrider. As I said, they really need him to do a lot of work. That's just not going to be in the cards for him. His Blink Dagger is going to be heavily delayed, as this is level 6.
Well, I guess the one thing is that Mighty Savior and the Medusa was actually the one getting the first blood, but do you think we're going to like see a Hand of Midas, or are they going for more like a mid-game fighty Medusa, which, well, there can be, but Heinrich in the mid lane gets initiated upon, Cold Snap is there, and it should be the kill. One more Arcane Bolt, not even going to be necessary. QO picks up the kill, although he's completely just out of mana now.
Yeah, which is unfortunate for him. There is a clarity on the Scarth Mage, and on the Vengeful Spirit if they really want to keep this Invoker in lane, but I think he's just going to be comfortable with where he's at now. Yeah, this Medusa is going to get scary, but I don't think it's until she gets a lot of items, and even then, EMP is going to constantly just be a nuisance for. At max level, burning 550 of Medusa's mana, that's pretty much doing effective damage of, I don't know, who knows, a lot. It's actually incredibly scary.
If I was Arcanys, never mind, they're going to go for Bok, they get the stun, Frost Arrows as well, it's going to be just enough. Cannot really fog himself away with the Firefly. So March gets the kill. Batrider, well, he had good intentions. He got some XP from this push as well. But in the meantime, Arcanys, they're pushing out safe lane. They have Liquid Fire level 2. So this tier 1 will not stand for too long.
No, definitely not. Tidehunter is also backed up in the jungle, but at least Rev was able to get experience out of lane. Still vastly above Bok when it comes to his experience, and is able to farm up stacks pretty effectively. Usually you see Tidehunter do Ancients. At level 4 that's not really possible, but this large camp is going to be farmed up and he'll get his level 5, even though his tier 1 is going to fall.
Oh, Bok, he's going to lose his life again. He cannot really fog them out anymore. Just concussive shot into level 3 Frost Arrows. And of course March, he's level 6 now as well, has this marksmanship, even more attack speed. But Arcanys, at least they're doing whatever they can as QO, gets the kill on Razor mid lane. Almost died himself, but almost doesn't matter anything in a game of Dota pretty much. So Arcanys, if they get the tier 2, it's still somewhat worth it, but they are losing a lot of ground on the other lanes.
They are. I don't know, it's going to put a lot of pressure onto this Medusa to really do a lot of work, and it's not going to be a Midas Rush for this Medusa. Honestly, I would have liked to see it. They're going to Wave of Terror as well as Arcane Bolt in this lane. That's going to save their tier 2 tower for now. That damage that they put onto it is permanent, so about 1,000 damage that is going to stick, but I don't think they're going to push that lane any further for quite some time. Droranger's also having a free time down towards bottom, but she's just massing up Wraith Bands and Power Treads.
So they definitely do not want to take this to the later stages, and if you get a lot of early just agility on the draw, get a lot of damage, you're going to be so strong with 4 ranged heroes on your side. Also, it's buffing up the Invoker that much, and I think that's probably one of the reasons that he actually got the kill on Razor in the mid lane as well. Just 24 points of extra damage now already coming out, with a level 1 marksmanship only, and I think the precision aura level 2 now. But still, they're going to get a lot more in the future. Ryzen the one on the Skyref, he's going to lose his life, or is he? He gets the slow onto Boombacks, but Mighty Savior should just be fast enough, or never mind, the slow from Dual Breath ends. So Skyref Mage even makes it out.
Yeah, the movement speed on Scarth Mage confirmed really good, even though he has 0 base armor and really struggles in that regard. In mid lane, they're going to jump on Heinrich again with that EMP doing a truckload of damage. My goodness, the Cold Snap, they'll be able to give him the rundown even though he's bottling up. The right-click damage from Kyo is just too immense. They TP in with the Jakiro and might be able to get this return kill onto the Invoker, but that Ice Path completely whiffs. It wasn't a bad Ice Path by any means, but Kyo is just able to casually walk by that with 4 points up in the Wex as well as Phase Boots, just a little too fast.
So 6-1 the kill score. This game doesn't seem to be going any better than how game number 1 ended for them. But of course, they still have the timings, like, there's no Stone Gaze even for Medusa yet. There's no Blink for the Batrider, and probably there won't be one anytime soon. What's the stacking status? It's a double stack on the big camp, double in the medium as well, but they have Mud Golems. And that's about it. That is just not nearly enough to have the Batrider catch up.
It's really not. Bok currently sitting on less than 700 gold. He's actually going to complete up his Tranquils. Yeah, this pretty much concedes the fact that his Blink Dagger is not going to be coming for like 12 minutes. Tier 1 tower down in bottom is going to fall to March. When you leave a Drill Ranger alone with the tower, she's going to be the happiest hero in the world. We'll be able to take that down. and tying up the tower score 1-1. Forev was dropping low. I think that was just him farming up neutrals, so there wasn't really anything going on there. But this Tidehunter now has Ravage, as well as a TP to boot.
Yeah, and just look at the Ancient stack as well for him. I believe it's a quad stack at this point.
Triple.
Oh man, only triple. How lame. Just too many big golems standing around. Didn't get the quad either, but still a triple Ancient stack. Or is it?
What's that sentry about? Okay, there's an EMP as well as Cold Snap going in mid. With the haste rune, Heinrich might be able to survive, and it looks like he will do so, bottling up in the sidelines. I'm tempted to say that sentry is a misclick. That blocks the camp, or at least gets really close to it.
I mean, I'm not too sure. Maybe they missed the stack before and thought it's warded or something, but now Ice Path lands onto QO. Heinrich will snatch the bounty rune. Not that big of a deal, of course. Get some harassment now as well after that. But I'm not really sure about the sentry. I'm not sure maybe it actually found the ward there or not, but...
there wasn't a ward there. Like, he just casually plopped down a sentry. I'm pretty sure that the box goes out to here.
Well, it's safe to say that must have been a misclick then, I guess. It's gonna hurt them a little bit, although Tidehunter forever, his level 6 at least has the Ravage. Not gonna get that fast of a Blink Dagger thanks to the Ancients not being able to being stacked anymore. But it's gonna be fine for them, I think, especially if they're actually gonna go for the buildings now as well with March. With the Mask of Madness heading towards the mid lane, I guess they want to just kind of start 5-manning now that they have the Ravage.
Yeah, and I think that's a pretty solid way of going about it. Arcanys, they just don't have the tools that they need to fight. Blink Dagger on Batrider feels like it's eons away. In a good game, or even a mediocre game, you'd be thinking about picking it up pretty soon. Medusa, even though she has Treads and Yasha, which are nice cost-effective items, her fighting potential is also very limited. Level 7, no points in ultimate, not necessarily unconventional, but also pretty weak. Ice Path attempted in mid onto March, but he's just chunking away at this tower. It's going to fall very quickly.
Yeah, once you have the Mask of Madness activated, the towers just fall way too fast. I mean, he's hitting for 170 damage and it's only 10 minutes in. It's just way too much for anybody to handle, buildings included. But another Ice Path will miss, unfortunately, for Boombacks. It's only level 1 Ice Path, so wouldn't do too much anyway. So another tower down. Tornado will not hit the heroes. Not too sure if he wanted to hit the creeps only or not, but QO, he is playing a dangerous game, going up against 4 heroes solo like that. But I guess he just has the movement speed to back it up.
I suppose so. I think it's an unnecessary risk, but worst case scenario, he has Ghost Walk, and there's actually no detection, so he's fine. There's sentries in the base for Witch Doctor, but they haven't been delivered yet, so yeah. He has that panic button to keep him out safe 99% of the time.
Ryzen, TP's bottom lane as well. QO is around. They want to go for Mighty Savior. There's the Tornado EMP. Cold Snap to follow to keep him in the EMP. Concussive Shot as well. Should be an easy kill, although with the Stone Gaze he might be able to actually make it out. Man, Stone Gaze, it's so strong in some cases, so he does make it out. But it's not too much lost for the side of MVP. I mean, it's just a Tornado EMP combination.
Yeah, that's completely fine. Like, he's going to be able to refuel that up very easily. Just keep those orbs on Quas to regen the HP. In the meantime, Arcanys are pushing out tier 1 tower in mid, however, so that time is going to cost them something. Breb's farming up the Ancients, or not the Ancients, but the large camp over in the sidelines as Batrider jacks that one. Very annoying for Forev. Let's see if he's actually going to get this last hit on the large creep. If he does, that's almost his Blink Dagger goal, just one creep away.
Actually, Bok isn't that far away either. He does get it now with the tower going down. So it's not going to be that slow of a Blink Dagger. A lot faster than I expected him to have it, to be honest. Also picks up a smoke, so he wants to make his first Blink Dagger count. But if you're up against a Blink Tide, it's going to be rather hard for you to do anything. Of course, if the Tide is close by, that is, of course. March also farming up to 2.3k gold. What's the next choice for the draw? Do you go for a BKB to just play it safe, or do you just start stacking up more agility like Yasha into something else?
I think you go like Yasha into SNY. Blink Dagger works. That's going to be the choice for March. So what this kind of tells me is that the Trojanger wants to split push and then the rest of the Euros can fight. March will join the fights every once in a while, but this item's more or less just to keep her safe while split pushing.
Yeah, I would probably think the same if I saw those items on a draw. It's like, yep, split pushing it is. Like I said, maybe trying to fight every now and then when you're just at an opportune position, for example. But Arcanys themselves, they do smoke up as free now. They want to go for something with the Blink Dagger on Pat, and it is definitely the correct choice. I mean, they so far only have 1 kill, but they're running into a 4-man smoke with a Blink Ravage. Oh god, this can backfire so bad.
Brev going to spot out 2, looking for the Ravage, connects onto 2 as well. With the EMP flying through, it's Shakira to lose his life first. Now Fried Butterfly is being pursued. They have the Blink Gush cooling down, but Batrider's looking for a lasso. He turns for a paralyzing cast. The swap still bouncing between them. Heen as well as Frev. They will be able to get off the magic missile. Now silencing up Fried Butterflies. He's going to fall. What was supposed to be a smoke gank in favor of Arcanys is going to be a 2-0, and now the Draw Ranger gets a solo kill. In the meantime, Heen is going to be lassoed down, but Venge had already swapped, so not actually much won for Arcanys. It's 3 for 1, and Draw Ranger is still able to do whatever Dro wants to do. That's level 11 now, and since they're this close to Roshan, they might as well take it.
And poor Razor, he has a buckler, has the power to this finish, but that is about it. Alacrity on Draw Ranger as well, my god. As if she wasn't attacking fast and hard enough already before. They don't even have a medallion, just because Vengeful is dead and Volt doesn't have enough gold for it quite yet, but Batrider is around forever, dropping so damn low, no flame break, one right click just brings him down. Okay, that was a kind of a misplay. Maybe Flame Break is there as well. He might even be able to snatch it. Oh god, Kyo, he drops solo. Ice Path is there. They go down. H is picked up and lost immediately. That Roshan was such a fail attempt, right? And he's gonna go down next. Nothing they can do. At least Dro manages to blink away for now. But this was like one of the worst Roshan attempts ever, man.
It really was. Okay, so Draw Ranger can very easily solo that, and with the Mask of Madness lifesteal as well. Yeah, without the Venge, I don't think he'd go for that. In the meantime, speaking of the Venge, she's actually going to kill off the Witch Doctor inside her own jungle, but still, yeah, it was a train wreck. I'm not sure there's really a nicer way to put it. MVP lose just one too many. Bach is pretty much the king of the Roche pit.
Well, at least the MVP still got the last hit for Roche, so they got the XP and gold for it as well. But man, that was just so ridiculous. First, for him getting just bashed, but now Mighty Saber, he gets slowed down. He finds Heinrich as well. There's the Mystic Flare to follow. It's still not enough, but the swap back as well. Kyo will arrive with the Cold Snap, which should be enough to get the kill. And it will be slowly, but they get the kill anyway.
Yeah. Now Invoker with the Tornado invoked. Kuo is going for an Orchid, although it's not going to be the fastest Orchid. You'd like to have it completed right about now. He's been giving a lot of room to the Draw Ranger, and speaking of the Draw, she's farming up an Absolute Storm. March was able to make it out alive after losing that Aegis, so it's not all terrible for them. They will lose tier 1 tower 10 bottom, but a Jakiro forward as well. Blink forward, March looking aggressively for Bach with the Mask of Madness. Even inside the fire, he actually doesn't care. They are going to burn down the Vengeful Spirit inside the Firefly, but on impact, Invoker gets Batrider's dominating spree, and MVP right back in the driver's seat, even after a handful of sketchy engagements.
Well, it was theirs all along, the initiative and everything. But now Fried Butterflies might be in trouble. Hasted forever. He's going to blink forward. One more smack. Before I would have wanted to say the anchor, but what the hell is that he's carrying?
It's a seashell.
It's a seashell mace. Okay then.
Genuine conch cudgel.
Well, that works as well. That might hurt more than an anchor, I guess. Maybe. I'm not too sure.
I mean, it's spiked. If you're able to swing the anchor at a decent amount of force, I'd rather be hit by the cudgel, but I don't know. I think we should just not get hit by either of them. Blink away will keep Rev safe in mid. He's able to survive. That was actually a level 1 Sunstrike that was thrown out by the Invoker. I'm pretty sure he just leveled up Exhort so they could have the Alacrity for the Dro. But either way, extra 100 damage. Can't really say no to that.
Yeah, and with this QO, he's going to have his Orchid finish now as well. 16 minutes in. A pretty good timing to be honest with Magic Wand and Face Boost on top of that as well. I mean, there aren't like any heroes that must get silenced, but it's still just a nice boost of damage and making it so that there's no reaction by the hero at all.
Yeah. And it's looking good for MVP. Arcanys, they're sitting on a decent amount of farm in the Medusa, but honestly, the Manta Stealth's not going to help you all that much. I'm not sure if you can even Manta dodge EMP, but maybe that's a thing. If your timing's really immaculate, but either way, Mighty Savior, his mana shield's pretty much going to be null and void. Right now, with almost the maxed out Wex, it's going to be draining 90% of Medusa's mana pool, and at that point, you're dealing with 900 HP, which at this point in the game really isn't that impressive, especially when everybody on MVP's team is getting plus 52 damage. But speaking of Dro, she is going to be lasted up, instantly popped by the Venge. That's what we talked about during the draft. Vengeful Spirit amazingly good against Batrider, and my goodness, that damage! March pops him 2 arrows, and now into the Witch Doctor. He's going to eat him alive! Double kill for Reese, and somehow he's been able to snag both of his kills. March blink away, gonna keep himself safe after the Ice Path misses. Yeah, that just happened. That was supposed to be Arcanys ganking MVP.
Yeah, Boomback's gonna go down. Cold Snap, EMP as well. A few right clicks. The first Orchid being used there. And Mighty Savior, he's going for the Linkens instead. Which, I mean, I would have maybe even preferred the man time, not even too sure. But Kyo, they're gonna find Hydreic as well. Ghost Walk to slow him down. Never mind, he's not gonna keep up. But they slowed down with the Frost Arrows anyway. With the Mystic Flare helping a little bit. That's another kill on the Razor. Razor, what's his KDA? 071.
Yeah, not a happy game, I must say. Most heroes on Arcanys really aren't having a great game when it comes to KDA. Witch Doctor also looking really sad at 0-5 and 3. March is just running all over them. That's your Sanjinashi completed, and now going to go aggressively behind the tower, playing like he has an Aegis. The Mask of Madness must be getting to his head. But March is going to be able to run out of there alive with a modest 465 move speed, even with the stack of Sticky Napalm onto him.
Oh my god, just Mask of Madness. Of course, it has downsides, but so far Arcanys, they really haven't been able to close the distance to the draw properly. He just runs away a little bit with the Mask of Madness activated, then turns around, and with the Frost Arrows on you, there's no way you can actually get next to him. And with the draw having been the third pick for MVP, oh, there's the Evil Scepter Ice Path to follow. I guess he's gonna go down now with the Lasso as well. There's no swap inside, Mighty Savior will come, but there's the Blink Grab, which catches all four. March still alive in the fire, but he gets away with the Mask of Madness movement speed. Even if Forev dies now, it was still worth it probably. Although Heinrich drops low, Fright Butterflies, he almost went down. Forev, can he get another Gush? There's the, nope, Anchor Smash, but the Gush gets the kill on the Razor anyway. Grayson comes in from behind, gonna get Boomback, so easy, nope, Evil Scepter stays in with March, he's back to the fight, wants to get, I don't know, all the kills pretty much I guess. Boombacks will fall, and now Mighty Savior, the sole hero, will bring down the draw, but it's a 5-4-2.
Yeah, it was probably worth it. Not sure if Juringer really needed to join that fight again, but still cleaning house. Even if it did cost Dro her life, it's still a good trade for MVP. Pretty much every 2 for 5 I'm not sure you can cut that any other way, even though they lose their 2 most important quote-unquote heroes on the map. They're still able to put a lot of damage in this tier 2 tower, if not outright take it, even with just the Venge Scarith and Tidehunter, which are abysmal pushing heroes, I might add.
Yeah, if they had Dro just alive, not even pushing there, just Precision Aura would be enough already to speed it up, but Heinrich, he comes in, stunned immediately, but they should have just gone for a runaway immediate, but he, with the creep wave tanking up some of the Eye of the Storm, does get out as well. But Heinrich, he's not even gonna build up a mech. He has a Crimson Scar recipe purchased up.
He doesn't even have the Vanguard. I'm okay with this choice coming up from Heinrich, but he just doesn't have the farm to back it up. Right now, this Razor is sitting on less net worth than the Scarith Mage of the enemy team. Just hasn't been able to find any foothold inside this game. 68 CS, it's mediocre at best, and he's died 8 times, being involved in 2 kills. You just can't make up for that. In mid, Mighty Savior, my goodness, you're in a lot of trouble. Lincoln Sphere is going to save him for a little bit. He's actually able to walk out that EMP, and out the Witch Doctor ultimate, and the Lasso turnaround on a QO. Going to be a pretty easy kill on the Invoker. Now Ice Path landing on a healing follow-up, Evil Scepter, just to get a little bit more distance. They drop the Medusa ultimate, trying to get in front. The Macropyre is going to land on almost nothing, but with the Body Blocks and the Stone Gaze, it should be enough to kill off this Vengeful Spirit, and even put a little bit of damage further on. MVP, do need to be careful that they don't get caught out alone. That was pretty much the ideal situation for Arcanys. I'm not sure how you're actually able to combo down Mighty Savior when he has the Lincoln Sphere from the Invoker, so in that sense, that's a nice pickup for you, but if he had a Force Staff, which it looks like that's going to be his next item of choice, it would have been all but over for Mighty Savior. Jakiro, in the meantime, going to die solo to the Scarith Mage, just casually, screen, or not screen, Reason, my goodness, why did I say screen? Going to walk away from the explosion as Jakiro does blow up. Batrider down in the bottom lane, going to be suffering a similar fate, maybe. Bok's actually able to TP out of there. March is more interested in creeps than the Batrider, so he'll be able to survive.
And I mean, if they're actually in a proper team fight, Ryzen, having the Rod of Aethos, one of the easiest way to pop Lincolns as well in the Medusa. Although I have to say, you also mentioned it, that MVP, they have to be a little bit careful about not throwing away what they have. Just because Drow has almost the same amount of farm as Medusa. And if I had to choose, I would probably choose a farm Medusa later on in the game. Oh, but the Tornado EMP will catch Mighty Savior. He's out of mana, but Kyo on the wrong side of the trees forever will get the blink forward, but not close enough for a Gush. So no kill to happen there, but they definitely just cannot feed away too much, just because although the draw is farmed, the rest of them aren't just crazily farmed.
Yeah, they're not. And right now, it's going to be the Scarith Mage to potentially be in a little bit of trouble. He's currently on the high ground, with Dr. Ultimate going to be challenged. There is a ward there, but the uphill misses on the Death Ward proved to be too much. Fried Butterfly is also only level 1 in the Death Ward. And now in a heap of trouble, is going to look for the TP out. Will he be able to make it? They don't drop a tornado or anything of the sort, and he will be able to make it out alive. But now MVP, they're in fighting shape, whereas, Arcanys aren't. Heen is able to join the fray again, and even if they have a Batrider Lasso, which is still on cooldown for 45 seconds, swap trumps Lasso 9 times out of 10.
Oh, it certainly does. I mean, he's been more or less spot on when he's actually been alive and close by as well. His reactions are fast with March. Just the tier 2. Is it the building even? It feels like it's just farming creeps or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Fell over like a stick of butter. There's not really much that you can do about those structures. March currently hitting with almost 300 damage pop, and actually with the Venge Aura, he is. And that's with a Crystallis and a Mask of Madness attack speed, Alacrity if they want to put it onto him. This is ridiculous. Please put Alacrity so we can see how fast March actually attacks with that, but it's pretty dirty. He'll be attacking at max attack speed.
Oh man, what can Arcanys even do now? If they themselves had a Ravage or Black Hole or something, or Chronosphere, it would be like, yeah, they can always just luck out with a huge Chrono or something like that, but they really don't have it. Their best bet is just to get the pick off, and that's about it.
Yeah, and really, as long as Venge sticks next to somebody, they can't go for the pick-off wherever Venge is, unless they go on to Venge herself, and if you do, you're eating a Ravage. They'll find Evil Scepter, Ice Path onto the, Scarlet Mage, and the Medusa Ultimate, but March, Augustus is going to put an end to that. They lasso up Recent on the sidelines and get a decent link off onto Forev, but they're just not focused to pay down. Heinrich is going to be the one to fall, as Pro Ranger is going to eat into him. The Ravage hits 4, and no Mighty Savior out of mana is going to be dropped in a heartbeat. March continuing to chase. He does have that Max of Madness as well as a Blink Dagger. I'm not sure he can actually TP out of here. Do they have a way to cancel it? They do have the swap, and Boombox is going to be dropped down 4-0 in favor of MVP. Arcanys, it was a good thought, but they just didn't have the damage.
I just love that they lasso the Scarlet Mage, yet that hero still survives. Of course, with the Rod of Aethos a little bit tankier than a normal Scarlet Mage would be, maybe, but they just couldn't do anything. Razor, he was literally just running around doing nothing. Mystic Flare on the block will not be enough to get the kill bottom lane, but they just lacked the damage. Medusa was there as well. They really pretty much focused everything on a Skyrift Mage, popped the Stone Gaze, everything. That was just absolute overkill, and they don't even get the kill.
And now they have another Ravage for this fight. They won't know this.
It's 24 minutes in.
Yeah, he has rushed it after the Blink Dagger, but Forev, he's been involved in plenty of kills, and Roche, he used to be there. He's going to be removed from his pit the hard way, as March is going to secure himself in Aegis, and now with 3,800 gold on top of this, he could finish up the Daedalus, and honestly, I don't see a reason why he shouldn't.
Oh my god. So, Arcanys, let's look at their counter push or high ground defense. Against a Batrider, it's always hard to push high ground, but if you have double Ravage and there are no BKBs on the enemy side, it's suddenly all not that hard. That Bok, well, he might even die here. Tornado will not land, but Mystic Flare brings him down anyway. So that's your high ground defense just dead.
Yeah. And I'll come back to it again, like, even with a Batrider, you have a swap from Venge, and that's level 2. Getting a position for that is pretty easy, and if Vengeful Spirit, and that's, if Vengeful Spirit breaks the lasso and that's all she does, it's pretty much a one-team fight. TP away from Mighty Savior is going to survive, but then again, Witch Doctor not going to be so lucky as he's mopped up by the, Invoker. My goodness, that is your Daedalus on the Drow Ranger. The damage that Drow is able to put out is stupid. That's 843 crits at 26 minutes in. This is not a Phantom Assassin, mind you. This is a ranged hero that's hitting at max attack speed.
So this Drow, I guess that's exactly how you want your Drow game to go as well, just snowball out of control. But like 2 minutes ago, he was almost on par with the Medusa's farm, suddenly 4k ahead. It just goes to show how well it's going for them as a team, and QO pops the Alacrity on himself, unfortunately, but I guess March doesn't really need extra attack speed or damage.
He doesn't need it, but it's still fun to see how ridiculous we can get it. They are going to silence a Boombox, he's going to walk out of that Ice Path, but the 2-3 tower is already almost gone. And I think the biggest issue for Arcanys is that their items don't mean as much as the items on Drow Ranger. Mighty Savior is just going to fall like this. Boombox, there's your Refresher Ravage. He's going to drop it only on the Witch Doctor. He's two-shot. Not anything he can do. They get a last one to Forev, but he's already dropped his load, and now the Drow Ranger is going to eat the Mighty Savior. His mana is getting drained like nobody's business. There's no AMP cast onto him. Mighty Savior is going to drop now. Heinrich, as well as the Batrider. Blink aggressive by March. That's going to be the end of the Batrider, and a triple kill from March. Mega kill streak, and a clean lane of barracks.
Well, March, he did want to get the Medusa down. Heading out for the Razor, I think he would have even survived the Vengeful, although not like they care too much about their support Vengeful's life. He saved forever and his duty was done pretty much. But that's... It really feels like GG Arcanys. They don't want to admit it yet, but... Oh, there's the Alacrity, man.
Yeah, that's cool. That's without Mask of Madness as well. That's
The Dire's top ranks.
Yeah, they'll blink forward. They are going to throw Draw Ranger up in the air, but into the air goes the Jakiro, into a Deafening Blast Orchid. The damage coming out from the Invoker isn't immediately enough, and now with the Witch Doctor ultimate, Friend of Butterflies is going to probably kill Invoker. I think he is going to tick down unless he gets the TP back to base. Ice Path going to cancel it, and Invoker is going to die. But March is cleaning house, has the Aegis. He might die, but he kills off the Courier in the meantime. That's kind of cool. And actually, he still survives. March is impossible to deal with. I think for all intents and purposes is over, especially when your Skywrath Mage can do something like this. Come on, silence him, ult him. Doesn't have the mana. Unfortunate. Looks like Reason's going to die. Maybe not. Those Arcane Bolts are hitting like trucks, my goodness. Dropping a Medusa ultimate inside the base. Mighty Savior? What's going on?
He was a Mighty Savior. He wanted to make sure Box survives. That Skywrath Mage cannot chase anymore. But March, he's back from the Ages. But I don't think he can escape this actually, although without the Stone Gaze, they cannot catch up, I think.
They have a Force Staff and a Flame Break. If this connects, maybe they can kill off March. He turns for a Gust, lands only onto Mighty Savior, but now with the Mask of Madness, good luck catching him. Flame Break explodes behind him, and he has a blink away too. Yeah, March is just too darn fast. 510 movement speed.
Okay, so 39 to 14 is the kill score. Oh, Graphs, 25k net worth, 26k XP. Do they have any Ravages again? No, not yet for another 22 seconds. Maelstrom picked up on Invoker. They can really do anything they want. I mean, they're 2 racks ahead. Arcanys don't even... I guess Medusa is pretty good in clearing off Mega Creeps, but doesn't want to be doing only that just because they give you less income than normal creeps would.
No, and right now, Medusa needs... Okay, that's a support Venge. Mighty Savior hardly does any damage to this Venge. The Macropar and the Witch Doctor Deathward's enough, but there goes their ability to actually fight. QO, currently invised up, is going to Ghost Walk, just casually harassing the Batrider. MVP are in such a great situation, even after losing a Venge, and even if they lose QO here. 2 lanes to Barracks, I don't think this matters. They have to kill them like 20 times consecutively, and even then, if Draw Ranger is alive, things are still hard. QO has another Ghost Walk, and they don't have protection, so he's going to be able to run out of there fine.
Everybody's so fast on the side of MVP. Tornado does catch Batrider, maybe enough for the kill. Ice Path though does stop him. There's another Stone Gaze. Blink, Ravage from Forever, catches 2, but will it be enough? March is around, gets petrified. Forever also can't even go for the second Ravage. There's Arcane Boots, Ravage. Oh, 4-staff Mighty Savior, he will be safe. That Petrify on Forever screwed them over pretty bad, but I don't think they care that much. And there's the Alacrity again. He's hitting for like 575 damage without Mask of Madness being activated for the extra attack speed.
And without crits, like it's... Look at that! That's stupid. Box going to call GG, and I don't think anybody's surprised here. MVP with a clean 2-0 victory.
So really well played, MVP. I do believe they yesterday also had a pretty clean win over Execration. I myself didn't see the game, but it was also a 2-0 sweep, I think, ended pretty fast at least. So looking good.
Yeah, it definitely is for them. They'll continue on in the I-League Southeast Asian qualifiers. Not exactly sure how many games we have left.
Oh, it's 2 best-of-3s. Or I mean, MVP has to win 2 more best-of-3s to actually qualify. So this was the quarterfinal, so they have the semi-final and the final to go if they get to the final.
Medusa has a Rapier, this is it. They've already called GG. Why isn't the Asian exploding? I don't know. Medusa with Rapier, she's still not doing enough damage. Fighting up against March, it's not a fight she can win. Rapier on the deck, that's it.
Oh, he gets the Rapier. Can he turn around? They run away from the Death Ward, doesn't even matter. So yeah, it's 2 more games. This was the quarterfinal. They will be going up against... I can't even... Oh, Genesis, who won against G-Guard today earlier on. And they will play, I do believe, in 2 days from now.
Alright, sounds good. If you like the casting you see here, you can follow us on HeflaTV here on Twitch, as well as on Twitter and Facebook. My goodness. The VODs will be uploaded to youtube.com/HeflaOak, and for the casters personally, I'm GrandThisV. You can find me pretty much everywhere under that name, and I think it's the same for Coucher. Other than that, thanks for watching, and we'll have some more Dota, but not from the I-League Southeast Asian qualifiers. I think our next games are going to be from the Battle of Central Europe at 2030 CET on our Hitbox channel.